Hey there, fellow soil enthusiasts! I'm excited to dive into something that's been weighing heavily on my gardening heart lately. After years of watching gardeners struggle with disappointing harvests and wondering why their plants aren't thriving despite their best efforts, I've identified 7 critical mistakes that are literally killing the life beneath our feet. These aren't just minor oversights, they're garden-destroying habits that could be costing you years of productive growing and hundreds of dollars in wasted effort. If you've ever found yourself staring at lackluster plants wondering why your neighbor's tomatoes are bursting with life while yours look like they're barely surviving, chances are one or more of these soil sins is wreaking havoc in your garden. The good news? Every single one of these mistakes is completely fixable. And I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your soil from a plant graveyard into a thriving ecosystem that practically grows plants by itself. Mistake number 1. Treating soil like dirt instead of a living ecosystem. This is the big one, folks, the mistake that underlies almost every other soil problem I see. Too many gardeners think of soil as nothing more than a medium to hold plants upright, when in reality, healthy soil is teeming with billions of microorganisms working around the clock to feed your plants. Every teaspoon of healthy soil contains more living organisms than there are people on Earth. These microscopic workers, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and countless others, form complex relationships with your plant roots, trading nutrients for sugars and creating an underground internet of communication and resource sharing. When you ignore this living community and treat soil like inert matter, you're essentially trying to grow plants in a sterile wasteland. Your plants become dependent on you for every nutrient, every drop of water, and every bit of protection from pests and diseases. It's exhausting for you and stressful for your plants. The solution starts with understanding that you're not just feeding plants, you're feeding soil life. Every decision you make should consider how it affects the underground ecosystem. This shift in perspective will revolutionize how you approach every aspect of gardening, from watering to fertilizing to pest management. Mistake number 2. Compacting your soil into concrete. I cringe every time I see someone walking through their garden beds or working soil when it's too wet. Soil compaction is like putting your underground workforce in straitjackets. They simply can't do their job when they can't move or breathe. Compacted soil creates a cascade of problems that many gardeners don't connect to their foot traffic. Water can't penetrate properly, leading to runoff and drought stress even when you're watering regularly. Roots can't spread out to find nutrients, so plants become stunted and weak. Beneficial soil organisms suffocate in airless conditions, while harmful anaerobic bacteria thrive. You can test soil compaction by trying to push a screwdriver into your soil. If it requires significant force, you've got compaction issues. Another telltale sign is water pooling on the surface after rain or irrigation instead of soaking in. The fix involves both prevention and rehabilitation. Create permanent pathways through your garden and never step on growing areas. If you must work in your beds, use a board to distribute your weight. For already compacted soil, avoid the temptation to just dig or till. This often makes compaction worse by destroying soil structure when conditions aren't right. Instead, add organic matter to the surface and let soil life do the work of opening up the structure naturally. This takes patience, but it creates lasting improvement rather than the temporary fix that aggressive cultivation provides. Mistake number 3, drowning your soil. Life with overwatering water seems like such a basic need that many gardeners figure more must be better. This thinking kills more plants and soil ecosystems than almost any other single mistake. Overwatering doesn't just harm plants directly, it fundamentally alters the soil environment in ways that can take months or even years to correct. When soil stays constantly saturated, beneficial aerobic organisms that your plants depend on literally suffocate and die. What takes their place are anaerobic bacteria that produce toxic compounds harmful to plant roots. This creates a vicious cycle where plants become more susceptible to root rot and other diseases, leading gardeners to apply fungicides that further disrupt soil biology. Overwatered soil also becomes a breeding ground for pest problems. Many insects and slugs thrive in constantly moist conditions, and stressed plants become magnets for every pest in the neighborhood. Learning to water properly starts with understanding that soil should go through wet and dry cycles, just like in nature. Most plants prefer deep, infrequent watering that encourages roots to grow down into the soil rather than staying near the surface. Stick your finger deep into the soil before watering. If it's moist more than an inch down, hold off. The best watering happens early in the morning, giving plants time to dry before evening when fungal diseases are most likely to take hold. Consider installing drip irrigation or soaker hoses that deliver water slowly and directly to the root zone without wetting foliage. Mistake number 4. Starving your soil of organic matter. If soil life is the engine of your garden, organic matter is the fuel that keeps it running. Yet I see garden after garden that's been slowly starved of this critical component, leaving behind depleted soil that requires constant inputs of synthetic fertilizers just to grow anything. Organic matter does far more than just feed soil organisms. It improves soil structure, helping clay soils drain better and sandy soils hold more water and nutrients. It provides slow-release nutrition that becomes available exactly when plants need it. It buffers pH changes and helps soil resist compaction. The mistake many gardeners make is thinking that the compost they add once or twice a year is enough. In healthy ecosystems, organic matter is being added constantly through fallen leaves, dead plant material, and animal waste. Your garden needs this same steady supply. You don't need to buy expensive bagged compost or manure to achieve this. Grass clippings, fallen leaves, kitchen scraps, and even weeds pulled from your garden can all become valuable organic matter. The key is keeping a steady supply going into your soil rather than treating it as a one-time amendment. Start viewing every plant in your garden as a potential source of organic matter. Let some areas go wild in the fall instead of cleaning everything up. Chop and drop plant material right where it grew. Cover bare soil with organic mulch that will slowly decompose and feed the soil life below. Mistake number 5. Creating chemical warfare in your garden. This one breaks my heart because I see well-meaning gardeners unknowingly destroying the very soil life they need for long-term success. Synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and fungicides might provide short-term results, but they're often devastating to soil ecosystems. High-salt synthetic fertilizers can burn beneficial microorganisms and earthworms, while broad-spectrum pesticides kill beneficial insects along with pests. Many fungicides don't discriminate between harmful and beneficial fungi, wiping out mycorrhizal relationships that help plants access nutrients and water. The irony is that healthy soil life provides natural pest and disease resistance. When soil ecosystems are thriving, plants are stronger and more resilient. Beneficial organisms outcompete harmful ones, and plants can better defend themselves against attack. This doesn't mean you can never use any inputs, but it does mean being much more selective and strategic. When you do need to intervene, choose organic options that work with soil life rather than against it. Neem oil, beneficial bacteria, and targeted organic treatments can address specific problems without carpet bombing your soil ecosystem. Better yet, focus on building soil health to prevent problems before they start. Healthy plants growing in living soil rarely experience the severe pest and disease pressure that drives gardeners to reach for chemicals in the first place. Mistake number 6. Ignoring your soil's pH balance. Soil pH might seem like a technical detail that only matters to chemistry nerds, but it's actually one of the most practical aspects of soil management. Get your pH wrong, and your plants literally can't access the nutrients sitting right there in the soil no matter how much fertilizer you apply. Most vegetables and flowers prefer slightly acidic to neutral soil, roughly between 6.0 and 7.0 pH. When soil becomes too acidic or too alkaline, essential nutrients become chemically locked up and unavailable to plants. You might have plenty of nutrients in your soil, but your plants are essentially starving because they can't access them. The symptoms of pH problems often look like nutrient deficiencies, yellowing leaves, poor growth, and weak plants. Many gardeners respond by adding more fertilizer, which can actually make pH problems worse and further disrupt soil chemistry. Testing your soil pH is simple and inexpensive. You can get a basic pH test kit for less than $10, or invest in a digital pH meter for more accuracy. Test several areas of your garden as pH can vary significantly even within a small space. Adjusting pH takes time and should be done gradually. Adding lime raises pH in acidic soils, while sulfur or organic matter like pine needles can lower pH in alkaline conditions. The key is making small adjustments over time rather than trying to make dramatic changes all at once. Mistake number 7. Fighting nature instead of working with it. The final mistake encompasses an entire mindset that leads gardeners down frustrating dead ends. Too many of us approach gardening as a battle against nature, rather than a partnership with it. We fight weeds instead of understanding what they're telling us about our soil. We try to grow plants that aren't suited to our conditions instead of working with what thrives naturally. Weeds are actually incredible soil diagnostics, if you know how to read them. Dandelions often indicate compacted soil, while plantain loves clay. Clover suggests nitrogen deficiency, and moss typically appears in acidic, poorly drained areas. Instead of just pulling weeds, ask what they're telling you about your soil conditions. Similarly, constantly struggling to grow plants that don't want to thrive in your garden is often a sign that you're fighting your soil conditions rather than working with them. Every region has plants that absolutely love the local soil and climate conditions. Starting with these and gradually improving your soil to support a wider range of plants is far more effective than constantly battling to grow unsuitable varieties. This approach extends to pest management, watering schedules, and even garden design. Nature has spent millions of years developing efficient systems. The more we can align our gardens with these natural patterns, the less work we have to do and the better our results become. Your soil transformation starts today. The beautiful thing about soil health is that it responds quickly to good management. You don't have to wait years to see results. Often you'll notice improvements in plant health and growth within a single growing season. The key is consistency and patience as you build long-term soil fertility. Start with just 1 or 2 changes rather than trying to overhaul everything at once. Maybe this week you focus on adding organic mulch to bare areas, or you test your soil pH for the first time. Small, consistent actions compound over time to create dramatic improvements. Remember, every garden mistake is also a learning opportunity. Your soil wants to be healthy and productive. Sometimes it just needs you to get out of its way and provide the right conditions for soil life to flourish. Ready to transform your garden from the ground up? Subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more in-depth soil wisdom and share this article with fellow gardeners who are ready to stop fighting their soil and start working with it. Together we can grow gardens that practically take care of themselves while producing the most beautiful, productive plants you've ever grown. Your soil and your plants will thank you for it.